But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Boy, oh boy, Ramu, that was a really cool fight. I have a soft spot for like electricity and stuff like that, so like lightning magic and stuff like akin to that. Over, you've returned to ask how Ramu received your visit. He challenged you to a test of arms. It is well then, you have some experience in such matters. The people of both Gridania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You perform a monumental duty this day, Obro. The elder seats here must be informed of your deeds at once. Elder seats here will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly to the low stand the conjurate. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're asking of me. I always get lost. Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see your return. The others see your ways you within.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one, yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, Pray speak, and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Papiamo. Thus ends another daunting mission, Aobro. I'd hope Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness which you responded to the primal sudden challenge. It seems that Orange, he has like a French name. I can't pronounce it. Two was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Ober? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stone and ponder the lessons of the day? I think that'd be wise. I have felled so many primals for you sons of guns. I want a castle. Give me a castle. Welcome back, Obro. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Eringer's discovery must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord 11, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
Oriange.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the waking sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'ashtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'ashtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
"'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Okay. Hold on, we're cooking.
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as with Leviathan before him. Ramu's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Hori, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential man, Heidelin's servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all but finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wane. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken Arzia's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. I'm assuming Bahamut? Now the matter of Ramu has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Oboro. There's a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Arzian Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mughal, Mog the 12th, Leviathan, and now Ramu. Needless to say, there's only one among our numbers to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You're a true hero, Obro, and Orzu is much the safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. I'm just gonna keep saying it. Asians may be relied upon to sow chaos in the realm until such time they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would have immense strife on his own, and this is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might be otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part of the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of allies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the Sylphs of Little Solace, who wish not of conflict. Of the Alamegans and the Domans, who stand with us determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. Are you still here? I mean, I've only been streaming for 4.5 hours. Are you talking about still in the post game for Realm Reborn? I still think I have a good like 30 quests to go in the post game. I still got, I mean, probably like a half hour, like another half hour of streaming. And there are the many unsung individuals who have gathered here in Riven Soul, honest men and women who seek to employ their skills for the good of all. Of course, since we give our greatest allies, we must not forget these closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Asians, the combat if we shall. First time, so last week I did cut streams a little shorter than normal. This week we're going to be back to our normal hours. So anywhere from 6 to 7 usually, depending how we're feeling. So streams will be going longer in the future. Just last week with us going for affiliate goals, I was kind of working on stuff, so I ended a little sooner. But yeah, we're back to our normal hours, which will be much like an hour or two longer than what you're used to. Thanks to many very talented, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption and combat if we should. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming and testament. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphanod, I take it the troubles of Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of of simmering violence is largely dissipated. Tis report is such as I stand before you now. That, and to speak of what concerning the new organization we discussed. I have the message for you, from Ellie. Ahem. Recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. By Alphanam, I understand you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name. I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. However, you have been away from Riven's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs in the realm to one side for the moment and take the opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozen was his name. I believe he had some small matter he wished to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Dun, 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 dun. Samurai has been a lot of fun, though. I'm digging Samurai. I'm not gonna like main it by any means, but I'm pretty excited to level it up and mess around with it as we continue to play the game. I'm super excited for Viper, dude. Viper looks really cool. Look, it's Miss Obro. She's back from her adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals and that there's some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventures Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Obro? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals? What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltonot, did you know that Miss Obro is back? So it would seem, welcome home, Obro. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Science, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and the bookish fellow is Coltonet. Though we remain largely unproven adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Dome younglings in the arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, you are not younglings anymore, we are adventurers. And we just were asking Miss Obro if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? Well, you've certainly been vigilant with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter proposal. What if we were to cross swords with Obro, a demonstrative skill at arms, if you will? Or if you don't know, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Haha, well, mayhaps I am, but the matter is the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson. What say you, Obro? Would you consent to spar with me? Hurrah, we're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone, must prepare our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them. Have faith, Colton. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purposes. I very much look forward to our bout. That's kind of cool. I like that. It was good of you to agree to this, Obro. I trust you're ready to begin. Let's get it. Very well, let us not keep your younglings waiting any longer. And Hori, are you sure you wish to fight her alone? That is Obro you are to face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt our first round to unaided. After that, 'twas this hero legend that led me to join the Science to begin with. Without Obro to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Hey, Ida! Falkred! Ida, who are all these people? When I heard about the sorry match, I told everyone I could find. I thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there's still more to come. When I mentioned Obro's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. While my own popularity seems to be sickly shade in comparison, you'd best claim victory, bringer light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Oh, such power, the tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet, it can't be. I, the children, have the right of it. This time I join the fray. On your feet, Hori. Oh no, he looks hurt. You have bested me, I yield. That was incredible. She beat the both of them at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, Obro. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I ever attempt the same. That's a cute little breather from all the primal stuff. I like that. Impressive as always, Obro. It's ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces too, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea, yes, that's the most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met was the memorial service to the Battle of Cartzenau? At the time I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea, I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly, my initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expanded towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius when the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus's single-minded military evasive precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nation's too self-involved and unstable. It was you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. It was you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsires sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for his inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. Wish that now has become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the Sons of the Seven Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effective counter and schemes of the ancients is a new expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you could aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue the discussion back on the walls of the Rising Stone. Elfinaud's really growing on me, man. I love how strong I feel compared to, like, other adventurers, you know? Like, they really do put out there that you are a menace to society. Thank you for coming, Obro. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization or group that shall pave the way for the truly united Eorzea. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will, the military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yeah, well, the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed. The logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus, I have been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale that we than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the science. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. Science worked tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed from the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what we can achieve. With the new company under the Science Command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. Before I can move forward with establishing the precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, it is yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. Tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members, while I otherwise engage with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. It is reassuring indeed to know that the bringer of light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limbs of Lamenta. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Ah, there you are. I'm ready to ascend the bridge and speak with Admiral Blossomnine. While the Admiral and I are finalizing missionary boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential numbers, of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, once they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands on it, and being arranged into the countryside, the upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you're satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter and we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Limbs of Lament's always taking a hit on my frames with how many people hang out here. That's Spider-Man. Oh my god. That's hilarious, actually. Hey, who in the Bloody Elves do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in a shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on the dandy Carvalian's door. I'm just saying. But Viper's kind of a pirate. I was thinking they should add like a pirate class. Uses a scimitar and like their offhand can be a pistol. That would be so cool, actually. Precursor to United Eorzean Grand Company. Why do I admire the scope of your ambition? My responsibilities here at Naldic and Vale Mills keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be trapeziing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills in armor, however, I may be willing to accept some special commissions. I mean, you have to run with the sword out as samurai. Well, Vinay Oprah, I'd not forget a venture brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. You remember Ulryle, don't you? Formerly of the Company Heroes, 3 whistles at Bronze Lake. It didn't often drag me arse off to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fair to you these days? You're looking to put together a new crew, top tier work? Sounds like a right lark, it does. Alrighty, last count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. Alright, there we go. I mean, having an armorer here too is also, big W for the Scions, right? I'm sorry, dude. Mondays just kick my ass. I'm always tired all through Monday. I think it's because on Sundays I sleep in so late because it's my day off. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say your proposal intrigues me, but the Krakens will know that there's a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Master Alphanod's new organization. Yes, I had heard of the formation of his trial company was in the awning. 'Tis with regret, however, I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of limbs of Lamesa must needs to be receive my full attention. You guys are missing out. I'm just saying. Yeah, Limbs of Lamesa is always just chaotic. I love it. There we go. Over your recruiting one, will I trust? I'm curious as to how many proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limbs of Lamesa. A member of the legendary company Heroes indicated his interest, astounding. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. If you could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that the visit with the Elder Seeds here proceeds smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridani on your base. I shall await your arrival at Nautica's altar. All right, guys, with that, that is going to be the end of our stream. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. We will be back with more Final Fantasy tomorrow, and most likely the Battlefield 6 Battle Royale mode that comes out tomorrow. So I got a little gang of friends that we're going to be trying that out with. So we'll start with some Final Fantasy, and once they hop on, we'll jump into Battlefield. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of the night. Peace out, everyone. Later.